Let me tell you, some stories just burn their way into your memory. And this one, well, it's the kind you replay in your mind whenever someone asks if respect still means anything in business these days. Picture this: sun beating down on downtown Atlanta, air so heavy with heat it practically hums. And there I am, Jonathan Reese, walking into a place that's supposed to represent the peak of my life's work. Only, I'm not wearing a suit or flashing a gold watch. Just an old polo, jeans that have seen better years, and sneakers my wife keeps threatening to throw out. You'd think owning a string of luxury dealerships would mean I get recognized on sight, but honestly, I count on being overlooked because that's where the truth always comes out. No fancy introductions, no name dropping, just me blending in, looking like anyone else might who dreams about driving something a little out of reach. And man, this particular spot had been on my radar after a flood of customer complaints, mostly about how the staff seemed to have their noses stuck so high up they might get altitude sickness. So I stroll in, taking in the spotless marble, the leather and espresso wafting through the air, jazz notes slipping from the ceiling. Everything is set up to dazzle, and yet the most striking thing is what's missing. Nobody gives me so much as a nod. A salesman gives me a once-over, quick and dismissive, then heads straight to a sharply dressed guy climbing out of an SUV that probably cost more than my first house. That's how it works here, I guess. Look the part, get the royal treatment. I linger by a silver coupe, pretending to examine the specs. 20 minutes roll by, and I might as well be a ghost. Not one, "Can I help you?" Not even an "excuse me." I could have played my hand, flashed my name, made them jump. But you don't find out who people are when they're scared you find out when they think no one's judging. And boy, did they show me who they were. Finally, I approach the front desk. The receptionist doesn't even try to hide her annoyance. "If you're just looking, you can wait outside," she says, barely lifting her eyes. I just nod, biting back the urge to laugh. She has no idea, right? But there's a chill that settles in me, the kind that doesn't come from the air conditioning. You want to know the worst part? Watching a staff swarm around some guy in a three-piece suit, rolling out the red carpet, offering champagne, prepping a test drive like he's the second coming of royalty. Meanwhile, I get treated like a window shopper about to lower the tone of the place. I hear one of the young sales guys mutter, "You can tell who's got money." I call it funny, but really it's just sad. Eventually, they send Ron, an older guy, gray at the temples, walks like he's been around the block and learned all the wrong lessons. Doesn't bother with a smile. "Sir, you'd probably feel more at home at our pre-owned lot," he says. It's wrapped up in fake politeness, but I hear the message loud and clear. I stay silent, let him keep going. He hints at financing options, not realizing he's talking to the man who approves those plans. Prejudice, plain as day, hiding behind company policy. And all the while, champagne flows for the guy in the suit, who's about to get the best sales pitch of his life. It's like watching a play where you know the ending, but you can't look away. The irony? They're treating the owner like he's not worth a handshake. I step aside, take out my phone, and make one quiet call. "Come to the dealership. Now." I don't yell. I don't need to. Sometimes the biggest storms start with a whisper. 17 minutes later, that storm rolls in. A black Rolls-Royce Phantom slides up, the kind of car that makes everyone stop breathing for a second. A man in a charcoal suit steps out. David Langford, my regional manager. He walks in like he owns the place. Everyone freezes. Even the receptionist sits up straighter, suddenly all business. David cuts straight across the showroom, walks right up to me, and says in a voice that leaves no doubt, "Mr. Reese, sorry for the wait." You should have seen their faces. The silence that fell was so thick you could slice it. All those people who'd ignored me, looked through me, now stared like they'd seen a ghost. That twist? Yeah, that was for them. Ron stumbles forward, stammering, "I didn't realize, sir." I thought, but the excuses die on his tongue. I look him in the eye. "Is this how we treat people here?" I ask, and I don't need to raise my voice. The words hang, a slow fuse burning. Ron tries to salvage it. "Misunderstanding, sir." I shake my head. "No, you made yourself clear. You judged me before a word left my mouth. You told me to go somewhere more my style without asking who I was or what I wanted. The staff shift, guilt starting to spread like wildfire. David, stone-faced, steps forward. Everyone involved in this incident is terminated, effective immediately. We'll be reviewing every policy, every training, and this place will not open its doors again until we know it will never happen a second time. Ron's jaw drops. The receptionist gasps. It hits them this wasn't just a bad day at work. This was a reckoning. I turn to Ron, softer than I feel. It's not the first time you've done this. It's not even the 100th, is it? His eyes dart. You're not losing your job for one mistake. It's for making this the culture. The door's close behind me, and the sun outside feels different cleaner. Somehow, I spot the young valet, who'd been the only one to look me in the eye, to treat me like a person, not a problem. I hand him a $100 bill. You did good, kid. He stammers, but I just nod. That's all it takes. Don't forget it. A Maybach glides up, the driver already holding the door. I get in, and as we pull away, I let the silence settle. This isn't about payback. It's about principle. I built this business on the idea that everyone matters no matter what they look like, what they wear, or how much they're worth on paper. Today, that principle got put to the test, and it held. Back inside, the staff are left with a new understanding, a raw kind of shame that won't fade overnight. Word will spread as it should. You know what happened at Reese's today? The owner walked in, got treated like dirt, then fired half the staff on the spot. It's the kind of story that gets retold in whispers because it reminds people that you never know who you're talking down to. The real lesson? Respect doesn't cost you a dime, but losing it can bankrupt everything. And the truth is, we've all been on the receiving end of someone's snap judgment. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's so smooth you only realize it after the fact. But it always leaves a mark. So if you've ever felt like you didn't belong, like you were sized up and found wanting before you even spoke, this story's for you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your worth. And if you've ever stood by and watched it happen to someone else, maybe next time you'll speak up. Now, I want to hear your take. Have you ever walked into a place and felt invisible or worse, unwelcome because of how you looked? Did you call it out or let it slide? Drop your experience in the comments. Let's talk about what it takes to change a culture that's forgotten how to treat people right. Because until we do, stories like this one will keep happening, and that's a loss none of us can afford.